We're following breaking news right now out of Russia. Major historic breaking news. President Vladimir Putin facing the greatest threat to his authority since he first rose to power some 23 years ago. Putin is accusing his one-time ally, Yevgeny Prigozhin, of an armed rebellion. His words, armed rebellion. Prigozhin says his forces have taken control of key military facilities in the city of Voronezh and the region of Rostov-on-Don. He threatens to move on to Moscow, which is not too far away, if Russia's top general and defense minister don't meet with him. Listen to this.
Again, we came here. We want to receive the Chief of General Staff and Shoigu. Until they aren't here. Until they aren't here, we will be located here, blockading the city of Rostov, and we'll go to Moscow.
President Putin calls the actions by Prigozhin a betrayal, his word, and a stab in the back to the Russian people. He says those who follow him will pay the price.
I repeat, any internal turmoil is a mortal threat to our statehood, to us as a nation. This is a blow to Russia, to our people. So our actions to defend the fatherland against such a threat will be severe. All those who deliberately chose the path of treachery, who prepared an armed mutiny, who chose the path of blackmail and terrorist methods, will face inevitable punishment.
We're seeing more and more videos emerging right now, like this one, a Russian military helicopter apparently avoiding fire from the ground. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a different Russian helicopter made a hard landing in the Voronezh region. According to Russian state media, one person was injured, but it's not clear whether that military helicopter was one of those apparently involved in operations against Wagner forces. We're following all of these developments on what's happening in Russia with our reporters and analysts. I want to begin with our chief international security correspondent, Nick Payton-Walsh. He's tracking developments for us. Nick, first of all, bring us up to speed where things stand, and they are dramatic, they are historic, where things stand right now.
Yeah, Wolf, important you point that out. We started this morning with Wagner troops in Rostov-on-Don itself, a vital southern military city, unimaginable to not be under Russian government control. Its key buildings, it seems, Yevgeny Prigozhin seen relaxed in there. But as we head towards the end of the afternoon, early evening now in Moscow, there are reports suggesting that Wagner forces are in the region of Lipetsk. Now, it's important to know the geography here because there's a long highway that goes from the southern city of Rostov-on-Don up towards the capital city, Moscow, which Prigozhin has been utterly clear is essentially where he wants to go. Voronezh, you've seen the videos of the helicopter clashes there from earlier on today. That's halfway. Lipetsk is the next region. And so the indication here is that Wagner forces are moving very fast. They may be 60, 70% of the way up the road, possibly 200 to 300 miles away from Moscow. Now, that is utterly startling. And what's also interesting to hear from the statement from the Lipetsk governor is that while he says local police and law enforcement are keeping the population safe, there's not an indication there they're necessarily stopping Wagner. And frankly, some of these are the most seasoned, savage fighters that Russia has, seasoned from the front lines of Bakhmut and other parts of the more brutal violence we've seen over the winter in Ukraine. And so these are people, I think, that Russia's military will also gingerly approach or not be too keen to confront. And that's essentially Vladimir Putin's problem right now. This is unprecedented. He's never seen a threat to his rule like this before. And the mere fact his press person has said he's in the Kremlin, he's been seen to be ringing allies or receiving calls from them, essentially reminding them that he's still there in power. That shows a man nervous, seen to be angry in the speech you're seeing there, quite clearly making threats towards those who are part of this armed insurrection, saying that it's blackmail, terroristic methods, not really giving much of a suggestion that a calm amnesty could follow if they gave over their leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin. This is an existential battle, really, for the control of the Kremlin, it seems. Yes, it could all suddenly calm down, but I tell you one thing that isn't going to go back, Wolf, and that's the control Vladimir Putin had over Russia earlier on this week. I feel that's gone for good now.